Today's video from Cumbernauld Living Landscape is going to be on making your very own hedgehog feeding station for your back garden. Hedgehogs are fantastic little mammals, but they're in quite a lot of trouble these days, mainly down to lack of habitat and lack of food sources, partly down to the way that we build our gardens nowadays. So, to help them out, we're going to make them a little feeding station. For this project, you'll need a plastic storage box like this one I'm using here. This is an underbed storage box, and I think it's about 32 litres or something like that in size. You'll find these in most supermarkets or home stores, and they tend not to cost too much, so hopefully you've got one. You'll also need a ruler, a marker pen of some sort, and you'll need something to cut the plastic with. So you can see this plastic box I've got here is nice and shiny and new. It's got a removable lid, which is really important for being able to feed the hedgehogs later. You could use a box without a lid, you could just put it on the ground upside down if you like, but it's actually quite difficult to cut the plastic out if you do that. It's much easier to cut the plastic if you have the box the right way up. Your box needs to be at least 12 centimetres deep, because that is the sort of size of hole that the hedgehogs are going to need to get in and out, and that's what we're going to do next. So you're going to use your marker pen and a ruler to draw a little entrance hole on the front of your box. So you want this to be at least 12 centimetres high, 12 centimetres wide. The idea of this is it's big enough for a hedgehog to get through, but it's not big enough for something like a cat or a dog to get into, because you only want hedgehogs going in here. So just mark out your entrance hole and then very, very carefully cut it out. I used a penknife, but you could use scissors, or you could even just use a drill. I actually used a drill to make the original hole that I then cut out with the penknife. But you could use any sort of sharp knife. Be very, very careful with this. You don't want the knife slipping or the plastic shattering. Maybe wear some eye protection, some gloves. Just be careful. You can probably tell now that this is one that I made earlier. This is a hedgehog feeding box that we've had in our garden for a couple of years now, and you can see by the dirt and the wear on it that it's been well used. But the hedgehogs don't mind that. And you can see in the front the hole that we've cut out. What I've done is I have taped the edges of that hole up with electrical tape. That's a really good idea because it stops, those edges can be quite sharp, and it stops the hedgehogs from hurting themselves as they go in and out. So just tape it up, renew that tape every now and again just to make sure that there's no sharp bits sticking out that the hedgehogs may hurt themselves on, and they'll quite happily use that. The next thing we're going to do is make our hedgehog meal. I'm going to use a mixture of different ingredients here. I'm going to use chopped peanuts, I'm going to use sunflower seeds, mealworms, and cat biscuits. You can find lots of different recipes for hedgehog food online, so it's a good place to go and look and start there. But this is the recipe that I use, and the hedgehogs in my garden seem to quite like it. Be careful with your mixture. You don't want to give them too much of any one thing. You want the hedgehogs to have a little bit of variety. Hedgehogs are insectivores, so they love things like mealworms, for example. However, they kind of love mealworms a little bit too much. Unfortunately, mealworms to a hedgehog is a little bit like hamburgers and ice cream to me. I would love to eat that for every meal, but it wouldn't be very good for me. And the same goes for hedgehogs. If you put out too many mealworms, they'll eat nothing but mealworms, and it'll actually make them quite ill. So mix a little bit of mealworms in with their food, but don't give them just mealworms. And the same goes for the other things that we're putting in here. Although they are insectivores, the hedgehogs will happily eat the peanuts and the sunflower seeds, and these are full of sort of fatty oils that are quite good for the hedgehog in limited quantities. The bulk of what I feed them is cat biscuits, although you can buy hedgehog biscuits as well. You can get them from some garden centres and pet food stores. But I give them cat biscuits, and they seem to quite enjoy them. One thing to be careful here is make sure that it's meat flavoured cat food and not fish flavoured, because hedgehogs aren't very good at processing fish oils. And I usually use a mixture of half cat biscuits, a third peanuts, a third sunflower seeds, and a third mealworms. Mix that all together, and the hedgehogs seem to like that quite fine. Remember, the food you're putting out is not to be the hedgehog's only food. This is just to give them a little treat, maybe attract them into your garden, just give them a little boost. Their main food is still going to be the natural food that's in your garden, so things like the slug, beetles, spiders, earthworms, invertebrates, things like that. That's what they're really looking for. That's the best food for them. That's what we want them to eat. Drop a bit of newspaper into the bottom of your feeding box. This is just to make it easier to clean up later. Hedgehogs are not house trained, they will poo everywhere, so this just makes it much easier to clean your box up later. Get your hedgehog food mix and pour some in. Now I've put quite a lot in here, but that's because I know we've got 3 or 4 hedgehogs that come to our garden every night. I would maybe start off with about half this much and slowly build it up. You only want enough food there that the hedgehogs can eat it all in one night. Now you've just got to find somewhere to put your box. I'm putting it on this path because I know that hedgehogs use this path all the time. I'm just going to put it tucked up against the fence in the middle of the path and make sure the hedgehogs find it. Hedgehogs don't have great vision, but they do have a good sense of smell. So they'll smell that food out and they'll find it quite quickly. Hopefully the hole you've made in the front of your box is too small for cats to get into, but cats will want to investigate this because there's cat food in it. So if you are having trouble with that, one thing you can try is putting an obstacle around the front of the box. Another thing you could do is just turn the box around and put it up against a wall, so there's just enough room for a hedgehog to get in, but not enough room for a cat. A really important thing to do if you're providing food for your hedgehogs, especially dry food like this, is you must provide a water source as well. So get yourself a little shallow dish, fill it with fresh water, leave it out somewhere near the box so the hedgehogs can find it easily. Don't put it in the box, because one of the first things the hedgehogs will do is go for a paddle in it, or they'll knock it over and they'll get all your newspaper and food wet. So just put it outside nearby so the hedgehogs can smell it and they'll find it. And that's your hedgehog feeding station complete. Leave it out, hopefully the hedgehogs will find it, and hopefully they'll come and investigate, they'll find some nice food, they'll get a nice drink, and then they'll go off and find other natural food around your garden. Remember, only leave enough food to give them a little treat, not enough so that they become reliant on the food. And if you are going to stop providing food, maybe do that slowly, so just slowly cut down on the amount of food you put out every night until you've stopped completely. And that way the hedgehogs don't get a shock when suddenly there's no food around. Another great thing you can do for hedgehogs though is you can leave little gaps in your garden for them to live in. So a little bit of a wild area for them to nest in, but most importantly, little gaps and things in your fence like this one here, which is about the same size as the hole that we put in the feeding box, and that just allows the hedgehogs to get from my garden into the garden next door. And that's really important because a hedgehog can't live just in your garden. It needs a much wider space. It needs to be able to go from garden to garden. Thanks for watching this video from Cumbernauld Living Landscape on how to make a hedgehog feeding station. If you get some hedgehogs in your garden, feel free to let us know on our social media. We're at Wild Cumbernauld on Twitter, Cumbernauld Living Landscape on Facebook. Thanks for listening.